Hello, I want to do a quick video on the campfire and insurance coverage. I know it's a big concern for people and it's hard to get a straight answer. I sat down with a public adjuster the other day to try to wrap my head around it, and I'm by no means an insurance expert, but I did find out some helpful information, and I think it may help people out in making your determination of, do I have enough insurance coverage? If I want to opt out, do I need to opt in? From what I'm seeing, the number is still, if you have 20,000 or less in insurance coverage for debris removal, then I think you should opt in. I don't think you have enough coverage to definitively opt out and not potentially be stuck paying money out of pocket. The main things when I talked with the adjuster were, there's different thresholds, and so if you exceed one threshold, then it's going to open up another pot of money into your extended coverage. So I'm sure most people are aware, if you've dug into it, you have your A coverage, your B coverage, your C coverage. Well, what you're going to end up with, all of these losses are considered large losses. So instead of a typical adjuster that you would work with, you're going to have a catastrophe adjuster come in for the most part. And that's going to be a third party person that's representing your insurance agency. And they're going to come in and put together a picture of what they think your loss should be, what they think that your coverage should be. They're going to present their case to your insurance adjuster, and then your insurance adjuster is going to make a determination. So the public adjuster, what they are is they work on obviously, thus the name, the public side. So they are truly working for the homeowner. Your insurance adjuster works for the insurance. Sorry about that. Works for the insurance agency. So obviously there's going to be vested interests on both sides. If they're a public adjuster, they do take a percentage of whatever they get you coverage for, but they definitely know the ins and outs of the insurance game, and you may get quite a bit more insurance coverage, or I would recommend you at least talk to them. Talk to them, find out what they say, because they're going to break it down where, at very worst, you could go back to your adjuster and say, listen, I talked to a public adjuster, this is what they're telling me. So some of the key points I wanted to make sure. So your stated loss, it's my understanding that that's the money that's stated on your declaration page. So if your loss is going to extend beyond your stated loss, then you get into an extended replacement costs. The public adjusters also, they're going to be aware of, okay, what about the rebuilding rates being elevated? So the surge demand, I believe is what they call that. They're going to look at that and say, okay, well, surge demands are X so much more, so the rebuilding cost isn't standard because there's so many people that are looking to rebuild right now that contractors can, a lot of them can name their price because they're going to be so busy. So that's one other thing that should be accounted for in your replacement cost. And then it gets more confusing, but if you say it's 10% of your coverage, or 10% of whatever that is, if it's coverage A, B, C, whatever it is, that doesn't end up being that simple, because if you exceed your standard loss for coverage A, let's say, now you're into extended replacement cost. So now you've got a different pot of money that's opened up. So now if you're getting your other structures, which the insurance adjuster also told me, I heard an example of, they said, well, I don't have any other structures. So, and I assumed it was outbuildings, but other structures can also be patios, driveways, just things that you would not think of, or you or I, a typical person, would think of as other structures. So long story short, I think that it's definitely worthwhile to talk to somebody else other than your insurance adjuster. That still needs to be the first step if you're debating about opting in or out, or even if you're trying just to maximize your insurance coverage. Talk to somebody that really knows the game, or they're holding plenty of seminars locally, because there's so many people that have obviously gone through this and lost so much. But that's what I would recommend. I'd recommend that you go through, find out, do your due diligence, talk to other people, make sure that you're not getting shorted on your insurance because it's a third party adjuster that's from out of state and they don't want your insurance. I believe they are encouraged to keep your coverage to your stated loss, because if it exceeds that stated loss, then you're opening up these other pots of money that you have access to under extended replacement. So it obviously benefits the insurance company if you stay above the stated or stay below the stated loss, to where you're not entitled to the extended coverages. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea of, reach out, do some more research. I don't know enough to help people with trying to determine their insurance coverage, and the policies that I've read through are super convoluted. So talk to an expert and try to figure out and make sure that you're getting all of what you've been paying on all those years for insurance coverage. All right, I hope everybody that helps, and that everybody is recovering okay, and that the process goes smoothly for you no matter what.